Get those hands up and pray them. Hello! Hello! Oh! Oh! Get those hands up! Oh! Well, found a new spot down here. I was staying over, sleeping over by Union Station, but I found this over there by Union Station. I was sleeping near these where they keep the Senate offices for the United States Senate, and I would get rousted out of there about 5:30. So any rate, I really didn't care. I mean, I'm not on any type of schedule, but was down here yesterday because I was tired yesterday, and this is the diary entry for yesterday. All I wanted to do was get some sleep, get some rest. And so I came down here, and what happens a lot of times is I just caught a second wind. And so I'm getting back into that habit of being tired from time to time, which, I don't know, no big deal. I guess it happens. But at any rate, I was down here yesterday, and I found this place. It's like a peninsula that shoots out into the Potomac here, and I had no issues last night, none. Between 12, I got home about 12 a.m. So for 6 hours, between 12 and 6, not a peep, not a sound, which I really loved. I don't have to worry about anybody waking me up or walking by or anything like that. But when I got up at 7 and started packing stuff up, which only takes me about 2 seconds, there were 15,000 kids at this place that's adjacent to the little park area that I'm in, and I've got to walk by. Not that that's any big deal, but it's just, I thought it was kind of interesting that, that you have that many people in a rowing club or a rowing team or whatever it is. But I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, we're on one of the nicest rivers out here, so. But yeah, so a new place to live and then a new schedule. I decided I wanted to stay another week here in Washington, D.C. I had already changed it from staying here from 1 week to 2 weeks. Now I've added another week, so I'm going to be here a total, God willing, of 3 weeks. And leaving ostensibly for Durham, North Carolina on October 4th. So that's the new plan. Whether or not that works out, I don't know. I'm starting to get wilder and wilder hairs as far as what I want to do, because the further south I go, the less I have to worry about any extraordinary measures to keep warm. So I'm a creature of climate now, absolute. That gets the top priority, the mandatory spot. And I was leaning a lot stronger just 2 weeks ago, unequivocally stronger to going to Durham, which is still if I had my druthers, that's what I want to do. But nothing's written in stone. I mean, obviously, I'd love, under all things being equal, normal conditions, I'd love to go to Andy Davis's church and check out North Carolina for a while. But now my thought patterns are a little bit more along the lines of, I want to go north when it's cold, north when it's warm, south when it's cold. You know, I don't know about WestJet or any of that stuff, but I've got a few years left to live, so in the event that I'm never able to achieve a passport, then I'll make the most out of being here in the United States. But obviously the ultimate goal would be to go overseas, but that's in the Lord's timing, as is everything else in life. So anyway, didn't have a lot of plans for yesterday. I spent a lot of time uploading videos from this GoPro, which I'm able to use almost exclusively now for video and picture taking, because I have 3 batteries. And so after all what I call, I don't know, messing with the electronics, part of the day I spent walking over to the Kennedy Center, which is right over here. So part of the day I spent walking over there. It seemed like I ended up there 2 or 3 times yesterday. But I walked by 2 or 3 embassies, and one of those embassies was the Saudi Arabian embassy. And I saw a couple of gentlemen up there, and I started teasing with them. I started joking around with them about wanting to go in there and talk to them about Jesus. And I didn't know where it would lead, but sure enough, it opened the door for a witnessing opportunity. And come to find out, these guys, you know, my theory has always been that there's not really any sheep here in the United States, or if they are, they're young, you know, kids that really haven't had a chance to take the gospel seriously. But the more I'm running into people like I ran into yesterday at this embassy, the more I might have to correct myself, because just on a very basic level, they had no idea that the original scriptures were written in Koine Greek and Hebrew and Aramaic, and they were using very, very fundamentally unlearned arguments, such as, well, look at all the prosperity preachers, as if that, I was pointing out to them, as if that had anything at all to do with their personal relationship with God. Whether or not there's any crazies out there, we all know that, but you can't use that as an excuse for your relationship with God. And I've run into that a lot. I don't know how those two match up, your own relationship with God and the fact that there's people out there that exploit the gospel, but it seems to be a relatively normal argument. But anyway, I think that they're going to welcome me back there to further. I don't have a lot of hope, because this would be a project, and I don't think I'm going to be here long enough to turn these gentlemen into a project. But at any rate, moved on towards the evening, and I went to my favorite little place to watch sports down on 7th in Pennsylvania. Walked right by the White House, got down there, ended up not watching hardly any sports, but doing a lot of reading. Then walked over to a Safeway, you know, getting prepared mentally and everything else to go to the Washington Nationals game, the Major League Baseball game tonight, or Tuesday night. This is all this stuff. This is a diary entry for yesterday, Monday. And then the bus didn't show up, or it did, but I just missed it, and ended up walking 15 or 20 blocks And if anything good out of Manhattan came about, it was that I got very, very used to thinking that walking 20 city blocks was absolutely nothing. It was like a stroll. And that's the way it turned out. But anyway, got home last night. Kennedy Center stays open till midnight, so that was sweet. Walked from there to my new little home here on the Potomac. And yeah, so hopefully, unless I get run off from here, this is where I'm going to stay for the duration. But that's, I don't know, after seeing how busy this little peninsula, or the building next to this little peninsula gets, I don't know how that's going to work out. But no one said anything to me, and I didn't feel like I was under any type of microscope. So, but at any rate, get those hands up and pray. Whoa!